There was a man who cared too much about what people thought. Every opinion felt important to him. Whenever someone criticized him, he took it personally. Their words stayed in his mind for days. He constantly checked what others were saying, and every comment affected his confidence. The weight of other people's opinions became heavier each year. It felt like carrying an invisible burden. One day, he looked at himself and wondered, who am I really trying to please? That question stayed in his mind. For the first time, he began thinking deeply. He realized he stood at a crossroads. One path was fear, the other was freedom. For years, he compared himself to everyone else, and comparison stole his happiness. Time kept passing, but his life wasn't moving forward. Then a small idea appeared. Maybe the problem wasn't other people at all. He started noticing something important. Most opinions disappeared as quickly as they arrived. People always had something to say, but that didn't mean he had to listen. For the first time, he kept moving forward, even when others doubted him. Instead of worrying about judgment, he focused on improving himself. He realized how many years he had wasted, not failing, but fearing what others thought. So he made a decision. His future would be guided by his goals, not opinions. Negative voices still existed, but they no longer controlled him. Little by little, progress started showing. Small steps began creating big changes. His attention shifted from people to purpose. And as he walked away from the noise, he felt something he hadn't felt in years: peace. Days turned into weeks, and he kept showing up, even when nobody noticed. Progress wasn't dramatic, but every small effort added up over time. The distractions never disappeared. He simply stopped giving them power. Like a seed growing underground, his confidence grew quietly. For the first time in years, he felt proud of who he was becoming. People still criticized him, but now their words passed through without stopping him. He learned a powerful lesson. Consistency is stronger than approval. With every challenge he overcame, his belief in himself became stronger. Sometimes he remembered the person he used to be, the man trapped by other people's opinions. But now he could see a bigger future ahead, and he was finally ready to chase it. The journey wasn't suddenly easy. New challenges appeared at every level. Many people warned him to stop. They said his goals were unrealistic. But small victories kept proving one thing: he was stronger than he used to be. The doubters still existed. The difference was that he no longer needed their approval. While others spent time talking, he spent time improving. One day, he looked at himself and smiled. He barely recognized the person he had become. Every obstacle had taught him something valuable. Every struggle had made him wiser. His world became bigger because his mind became stronger. Now he could help others facing the same fears, the fears that once controlled him. And for the first time, he stood tall without needing validation from anyone. Then came the biggest challenge of all, the test that would reveal who he had become. The climb was difficult. There were moments when quitting seemed easier. At one point, he almost fell back into old habits. The fear of judgment tried to return. But this time was different. He refused to let fear decide his future. As he looked back, he realized how much he had grown. The person who once needed approval was disappearing. A stronger version was taking his place. And finally, he reached the summit, not because life became easy, but because he became stronger. Standing there, he felt something unexpected, a deep sense of peace. Then he understood the lesson. Freedom begins when you stop living for other people's opinions. The chains had never been around his body. They had always been inside his mind. From the top of the mountain, he saw something important. This was not the end of the journey. Life would continue bringing opinions, criticism, and doubt. but now he knew how to handle them. His focus was no longer on being liked. His focus was on becoming better. People still talked. Some supported him, some didn't. But he learned a truth that changed everything. You cannot control what others think. You can only control how you respond, and that choice changes your entire life. Every great achievement begins the same way, by taking one step despite fear. The strongest confidence doesn't come from praise. It comes from keeping promises to yourself. So keep moving forward, even when nobody understands your vision. Because the moment you stop living for everyone else is the moment you finally start living for yourself. Every person eventually faces a choice: live for approval or live for purpose. Most people spend their lives trying to satisfy everyone and lose themselves in the process. But the man chose a different path, a path guided by his own values. He didn't hate the people who doubted him. He simply stopped giving them control. For the first time, he truly respected himself, and that changed everything. Soon, others began asking how he became so confident. The answer was surprisingly simple. He stopped chasing validation and started building self-belief. That decision opened doors he never imagined: opportunities, growth, and freedom. Not because the world changed, but because he changed himself. Remember this: the moment you stop living for other people's opinions is the moment your real life begins. Years later, he looked back at the journey and finally understood what truly mattered. He remembered the person he used to be, the man trapped by fear and approval. If he could speak to that version of himself, he would say one simple thing: stop waiting for permission. Your life belongs to you. People will always have opinions. That is something you can never change. But self-respect is stronger than approval, and confidence grows when you trust yourself. Every step you take, despite fear, builds the person you are meant to become. The strongest people are not fearless. They simply refuse to let fear control them. So remember this lesson: your future is not decided by other people's opinions. It is decided by the choices you make every day. Choose yourself, choose growth, choose freedom.